Welcome everyone to Couch Potatoes and Sports Tragics. And look, Jetsetter Jordan, we know we don't call him Jetsetter for no reason at all, because he's always jet setting overseas somewhere. But he's got too much time on his hand, because he said to me that he's been looking at these bizarre sports.
Yeah.
So I'm as curious as everyone out there to hear what he's got to say.
Well, you got to, we're going to share some thoughts, but you got to look up some things. You got Wi-Fi on those long haul flights now, mate. You've got to keep yourself amused.
You do.
Those movies only take you so far.
That's right. You can't play,
especially if you get decent headphones.
You can't play solitaire all the whole trip.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. There's been some interesting ones. As I said, I was doing the radio yesterday, and between songs, as you do, so I started having a little bit of a research as much as you can. And there are some very, very interesting sports going out there. I think, as you mentioned earlier, before we hit air, the cheese chasing down the hill.
Oh, that's in Gloucester, in England. Oh, that's just.
Is that one I just saw recently?
It was on last week.
They've got bodies just flying, just like, it's just great. How they haven't broken every bone in their body is beyond me.
They're like rag dolls when they lose their footing.
I know.
I don't know how someone doesn't break their neck. And an Australian won it.
Did they?
I think he did. I think he was Australian.
Well, so he should. Cheese is worth it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But that's such a steep, well, I was going to say steep incline. It's a decline. It's downhill all the way, and it's 100 miles an hour. You just cannot put the brake. You cannot put the brakes on.
I forgot. Actually, I looked straight past that. Do you actually know how long the race is? Is it like a kilometre of just downhill like mayhem?
I don't think it's that long. I think probably 100 metres would 150 metres would pull it up.
Bloody funny.
It is hilarious and dangerous and bizarre.
Well, as I said, that's not the only one. So I was looking at a couple here. The number one, because this guy is top 10 list of unusual sports. So I thought I'd start there and credit the top end sports here. But this first one, I thought that this is one you'd be a natural at. It's called the World Gurning Contest. So this is actually a competition where the ugliest face wins. I'm surprised they haven't brought you up for that one.
Well, yeah, I'm surprised too.
I thought there'd be like a lay down for that one.
Lay down was there for that one. It's pulling faces, isn't it? I think I have seen that.
Yeah.
And they actually, it's who can pull the ugliest face.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I said you're a natural. Yeah. That's why. What do they call you? Got a face for radio. That's potties.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why we'd actually people do see you there. I think people would agree with me. Actually, you're putting your mug out there, mate.
I do, and putting my mug out there on Facebook and YouTube, mate. They can make their own.
I'm the quiet, unassuming side of this. You're
on the promo thing now.
Yeah, I'm the quiet, supportive type. You know that.
You're on the promo now. They can see who's got the worst head.
That's right. Oh, we can vote on that if you want.
Yep. Well, that's actually quite good. Everyone have a vote.
Yeah, have a vote. So the other one, which of course is exceptional and very important, is the wife carry fest.
Well, you could be disadvantaged to that, couldn't you? Some people be. Like if you've got a 52 kilo wife or got a 102 kilo wife, well, that'd be a bit disadvantaged. Well, is it a handicap race?
Well, it's interesting, mate. It could be a 3-legged race. Yeah. So the wife carrying, here you go. You can carry your own wife or someone else's.
Oh, okay.
So it's a bit of wife swapping going.
So it's a bit of a swinger race as well.
And the prize is some beer just to really loosen up the win.
Beer, they win beer.
Yeah. So that's the prize, is you win beer.
Okay. Well,
so I don't know what kind of festival. I don't know where this is leading.
Oktoberfest.
You could just say, just pick up someone else's wife, forget the keys, mate.
That sounds like a Friday night down at the Aussie hotel.
And the other hubby can't catch you, and you get a beer for your trouble.
That's a normal Friday night in Pamplona.
I don't know why people haven't thought up this before. I think there's some real incentive going on there.
Well, talking about beer, while you're on beer, as you know, I've got a cricket and rugby background, but in rugby we used to have the boat races.
Yeah.
After the game.
Yeah.
And that obviously entails a lineup of people and sculling the beer and placing the empty glass on top of your head, and then the person behind you, on they go. So it's like a boat race, like an 8 or whatever. But funny story, back in the early 80s, when I was playing for Northern Districts or Northern Suburbs, Canberra, and I had this girlfriend, good-looking friend, and one day we found...
Nothing to do with the beer?
No. She was very good-looking. But we found out that she could scull like a schooner in a fraction of a second.
Bonus.
So...
Bloody hell, mate.
So we decided to make it a requirement.
How'd you let that one slip? You couldn't scull, could you?
I couldn't. I couldn't scull.
You were embarrassing her.
I couldn't scull.
You were embarrassing her.
So we made it a requirement. Every time we had a boat race against another club, we said, you have to start off with the girl.
Oh, Oh, they must have smelled her. They must.
Well,
have,
they did after they saw her skull.
Yeah.
They did after they saw her skull.
Yeah.
And we got off to about a 3/4 schooner advantage.
Yeah.
We lost in the end of time, but at least we got off a start and a fly.
That's all right. Bloody hell, mate. Yeah. I'm still impressed that you roped someone in of such calibre. Forget about the look side, but it's a skull of beer, man. Yeah, it's like
absolutely.
It's impressive in anyone's eyes.
Yes, definitely.
I know. Well, I like that. Well, there's a lot of different beer games, isn't there? I mean, it is beer and drinking. Obviously, has synonymous with sport for a long time, rightly or wrongly. I actually wanted to quickly. I forgot about the last podcast with the sports that for the first time, and I didn't realise this, that at the camps, like the Blues camp and wherever they were staying, there was an open bar, and usually the bar, the guys will be having a few drinks when they're doing the training, which surprised me. But this was the first camp where hardly they had a drink. So anyway, I won't dwell too much on that. I just found that like it's surprising.
They didn't have much of a drink, you're saying?
They didn't. No, it was hardly touched. But in previous years, the boys would get on it.
Well, as we were talking about that, the days
surprised me. That's all.
The days of Fatty Vorton and that, all it was a bonding session.
Yeah, well,
in those days,
there's a lot going on. But yeah, it has been synonymous with the sport, and of course we got the old beer pong. It's a very very important sport.
The what?
Beer pong. Okay. Have you seen that? Where you got to bounce a ping pong or throw a ping pong into a glass of beer and
yes. Well, when you were saying that, I thought I might have been back in Patong.
Yeah,
we saw a bit of that in Patong.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, okay.
Beer pong, okay. Yeah, well, I thought it might have been smelly, that's all. Beer pong.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I've seen that. And I've seen it with money. Sometimes you can bounce money into as well.
Oh, yeah, the old coin flip.
The old coin
thing. No, it's not coins anymore.
Yeah.
Do a direct deposit. It's going to work.
Yeah.
But one I wanted to touch on, I had a little bit of a look at this, and of course, it tickled my fancy. It was, what I was looking through was nude sports.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I actually dug a little bit into this one.
As you would.
Yeah, as you would, sticky peek to what may or may not be there. And they actually had, it did die off some reason in 2017. I'm still trying to get to the bottom of it. But they had the nude Olympic in South Australia.
Really?
Yeah, and you did expect they had some really important, hard-fought, contested sports within the sport. Now, I have to admit, I was a little bit concerned at the first sport that they had here, okay, and it's called the Kids Treasure Hunt.
Oh, nude kid treasure hunt.
I thought, hang on, like I was a bit worried about, but that came on, and then, but I mean, let's keep a straight face because this is actually, you can actually Google this. Okay, I'm not making this up. The sandcastle competition, fair enough. Then they went to the donut eating competition. Okay, then
no comment.
Yes, it's hard to keep a straight face.
I've been to parties with those.
Hard to keep a straight face, right? Okay, you ought to guess. You could probably guess a few of these. So then they had the 3-legged race, the tug of war.
Steve Waugh be in on that one. Tugger.
The tug of war brings tears to your eyes, really, when you think about that one.
It could.
Hey, the old tug of war.
Depends what they're tugging on, I suppose.
Yeah, well, that's right. I guess if you were the tuggette or the tuggee, you'd feel pretty proud of yourself. It's probably an honour to be chosen for the tug of war.
True.
Who knows? The sack race. That's
got
another important one.
A double meaning to that one too, Nelly.
Yeah, and what could not finish off without a good game of frisbee throwing, naked frisbee,
nude frisbee throwing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you could use your hands or not. But that was on in South Australia, right? And so no, I kept looking. I think you told me to research this. So I wouldn't have done this off the back. And so they actually had the nude sports in the Olympics. They actually it got shut down because the actual Olympic Games they sued. They said they couldn't call it Olympic.
Yep. Okay.
So it was certainly crossing some
boundaries,
sponsorship line. Maybe they just had nowhere to put their logos, their sponsors.
Well,
who knows?
So, where would you put 5 ring on a nude person?
That's right. Well, it's like actually it'd be quite funny, because they did have best bum contests. They get a best 5 bum contest for the 5 different rings. You see, like different colours, and everyone could like bend over, and not any different. No. We're getting creative. So what happened is that in Queensland, it was running in Queensland until 2017, until someone worked out that nudity was illegal in Queensland. So the government cracked the whip.
So no one takes their clothes off in Queensland. You're telling me?
Do you like these puns? So the government.
I got it. Crack the whip.
So they got in there, and barred it.
That's another one.
And so I didn't even mean that. They're coming out naturally, Tone.
They are.
They are,
Well,
mate. They are. It's hard to. I'm trying my best here.
It's hard. It is hard.
Yeah, it is. It's very difficult at times. So, to get up and do this potty, at all.
Yeah, exactly.
But I can't come across soft. I've got to keep going.
That's it.
And so they decided to go across the Byron Bay, which is a natural, of course.
Not far from us. We could go and watch, could we? But you can't find out where it is, can you?
Well, they did have a nudie run recently. That's right. They had a nudie run. This is where it all. So I kept researching, mate, like in true sportsologist fashion. I kept researching because I was thinking I can't find anything past 27. Then I recall that there was a nudie run. Everyone got on bikes and nudie. It was last year through Byron. I was actually there, and all these people knew just started running through. I thought, that's Byron, nothing to think about. Yeah. But what happened was they worked at the Niagara there, the beaches at Byron, North Byron, for people who aren't local there, which is a nudist beach.
Yes.
The council realised they weren't in control of it. It was actually Department of Lands.
Yes.
And the Department of Lands, quote unquote, said that this is not congenial, not congruent with the ethics or the standings of the fine Department of Lands of New South Wales. So that's what actually caused all these people to literally get on their bike and warm themselves up, start the sack races and start protesting.
Well, it did make the news, the local news. I know that they all were, I was going to say up in arms, but then there have been other things. Yeah. And they said, well, where else are we going to do it? It's so Well,
a lot of people said they were nuts, but I don't. And so they managed to actually delay it till July.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, mate, we've got a bit under a month. I am away though, of course. So I might have to leave this.
So you want me to?
I think we should organise something.
Yeah. Okay, we could put our own team in.
Well, I think the town, if we run the whole.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like a real chance to broaden our horizons.
Promotion.
Yeah,
good promotion.
That's right. And see how we go.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll work on that one. Just while we're talking about locally, it's not too far away. At Woolai, New South Wales, where my dear old mum lives. She's nearly 92 this September.
We can't. I hope you think about it over 90 degrees. Is that what
no. But I was thinking about a bizarre sport.
I met your mother, wasn't sure.
No. A bizarre sport, and that's goanna pulling.
Goanna pulling.
Yeah, they do that in the Australian Championships. Australian Championships are held at Woolai in the October long weekend every year. This year will be the 40th year. And with goanna pulling, the two contestants are down on their hands and knees, basically, and they put a leather belt around their neck. It's like a tug of war. There's a line between them, and they sort of, the way that they have to rear up on their hands and pull on their neck, it makes them look like a goanna. So that's why it's called goanna pulling.
Right.
But it is a legitimate sport. Woolai is only a couple of hours away, or an hour and a half away, and they have the Australian Championships there every October long weekend. 40th year this year, goanna pulling. Check it out.
Actually, we should you could Google them. We're happy when you listen to throw in some crazy sports that they've known or seen, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I was looking at another one that I think, is right down your alley. It's called extreme ironing.
Well, it's not that one.
Yeah, extreme ironing.
We don't even have an iron.
Don't you?
No.
Well, that's why it'd be extreme for you, mate.
It would be.
So extreme ironing. Actually, you remember that planking craze that went around where people decided to go and plank in all these weird places?
Took photos.
Yeah, so it's a little bit like that. So what's happening is people are actually taking their iron into the stained crazy spots that they can find.
Oh, really?
And they iron and they take photos and selfies. This is, do you call that a board? Call it something.
They must have a very long extension lead, do they?
Yeah, well, they do, mate. Well, battery and solar power. Who knows?
Well, it could be.
Who knows, mate? Maybe this got to go somewhere hot.
Do you remember back in the probably the 90s? It was lots of little pub games and fads they had. There was one that was horizontal bungee jumping. Did you ever see that?
No.
They used to attach you at one end. They used to clear the bar out a bit. Everyone would be up.
That just sounds like me after 10 beers, mate.
Yeah, but they used to clear the bar. Used to make a sort of a channel for someone to run up, and they used to connect you to quite a big spring type thing, like a bungee spring thing, and you had to run and see how far you could go. But that bungee was so taut, it'd pull you back, and it was hilarious watching people, especially after a few drinks.
Feel the stretch and then just try and tap for the longest.
Yes,
one.
Yeah, but it would just drag some people back who had too many beers, and it was hilarious. But I think it got a bit too dangerous. I think people were smashing in chairs, poles, and other people, things like that. Yeah. Well, look, what about the running of the bulls in Pamplona? I mean, how crazy is that?
Oh, look, that is a classic. I was actually looking, and I didn't talk about that one, but there's actually an alternative to that. The people who obviously don't agree with the bulls and
they don't harm the bulls.
No, look, I'm not saying one way or another, but I'm actually looking at something where they've called it nude sports.
You're into the nudes, aren't you?
Well, this is what threw me. Running of the nudes.
Running of the nudes.
Yeah, which is the free alternative to the bull run. and much more spectator, not as gory.
So what's involved in that one?
The running of the news, thrill, the race has been designed to draw attention to the... it's not giving me much. I might have to look back at that.
If you're just wondering what's happening, he hasn't got his glasses on and he can't really screen.
I don't bloody see anything, mate.
But the running of the bulls has been going for I think 200 years or something, or longer at Pamplona. I did have some things on there. I do know some people who went in it and they reckon it was the most frightening, but at the same time, adrenaline, exciting thing that they'd done with, I think 6 bulls. I think they let it run every day for 7 days, starting at 8 o'clock, and it runs for about 2 minutes 30 seconds, or depends how fast you can run.
Yeah,
and
that sounded very precise. Mate.
And you end up in the main arena, and so I've seen a few people get gored by it all.
Very precise timing you had.
Experience. It takes about 2 minutes 30 seconds to complete the track. Apparently, but as I say, depends how fast you run, and how close the bull is behind you.
Yeah, I mean that's a massive one. What's the other one? That's not they got the tomato one as well, haven't they?
Well, Pamplona is the most famous one. It draws a huge amount of people in as tourists to it. It's a fairly big, fairly festive. It's televised on Spanish TV things. Well, yeah, so in July of every year runs for 6 or 7 days. So it says that the rules require participants to be at least 18 years old, run in the same direction as the bulls, not incite the bulls, and not be under the influence of alcohol. No chance of that.
No bull.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
Bull.
Yeah.
So I have closed off because I know you're keenly interested. So that the running of the nudes, I just found a photo. Found a photo. And everyone. You were
researching.
I am researching. Mate.
You were researching.
It's such a positive influence on me.
So what is
what direction I've taken?
So what is the running of the nudes? What do they do? They just run nude.
Yeah, they run nude and they put fake bull things on.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, they run through the streets. That's it. And they obviously got signs for naked. Yeah, there you go.
Well,
so that's it. Basically, everyone. I think alcohol is allowed in this one.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
That's probably why it's a little bit more popular.
Yes.
You don't want to get one of those little. You don't want to catch a bull by the horn, do you?
Photo a little bit like the gay Mardi Gras.
Oh, well, that's it. I know. just so anyone who's looking, just Google up images.
Nude running
of the nude.
Running of the nude. All right, we might wind that one up. We've got quite a few more of those in episodes to come.
And I've got to apologise though because we haven't gone somewhere like this before, and probably been a bit lighthearted to date.
Well, we need to.
I think it's very important that we do dig into these very, very, very difficult issues.
We do research things. We do need to lighten up after New South Wales lost state of origin, that's for sure.
Haven't even had a beer, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So, But look, thanks for listening. If you haven't been listening, then you wouldn't know that we've been doing the podcast at all. So,
don't know how empty your life is.
Exactly. So, right. And if you have been listening, tell your friends, and we'll got plenty more insightful and interesting things to come over the next few weeks. Jetsetter Jordan is going away again soon, so we'll have to see what we do.
Well, that's right.
We might even do one over the phone.
You never know.
We've got the technology for that.
State of Origin's on the 26th, isn't it?
It is. You back for that?
Oh, I'm right on. I might be on a plane. Anyway, we'll have to work it out. We'll see how we go.
All right. Yeah. We'll have to do something with that one.
There's got to be something.
Yeah, sure. The technology is on our side.
So we'll research what crazy Hawaiian sports there are.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of those, sure.
We're going to bring back a grass skirt for your naked
So where
Olympics,
are you going to this time? You're going to Hawaii?
Going to Hawaii.
That's right. You are too.
Yeah. This is a planned one, this one. So I've had it going for a while. I didn't tell you about Vanuatu. We had the fishless fishing trip. So.
Yeah, and Bali was off the cuff too, was pretty much, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bali was, but this should be a nice one. We'll see how we go.
I'm sure they're all nice. Yes, good for some people, isn't it? All right, we're winding up. Thanks for listening. It's goodbye from me, the Sportsologist, and
Jetsetting Jordan. You go.
Cheers.
Jordan. Bye.